Huh? Hi, our esteemed viewers. Once again, we welcome you to this channel. This is one of the best platforms where we share our insights on the very important issues in our families. And for today, we have a very important topic, still looking at the family setup. And I do believe we know the context of this channel, other than the main topic. The other issues we are going to share and interact with our viewers is still touching on very important issues in our lives. So for today, we are going to look at one of the issues at the center of our families, which brings about the building of a family that is admirable, whereby the responsibilities of that task lies with the parents. Now, the topic of today is parenting, and I'm going to look at the how. The word here is the how parenting is done, focusing on the conservative part of it and the liberal part of it, whereby we are looking at parenting in our yesteryears, where most of our generation is a product of the conservative approach to parenting. And we individuals who are product of that parenting, we are now bringing up our families in a liberal way. So one thing is that the intended goal of parenting in both is the same. The only issue is the approach, and the approach is not that clear, distinct that one is better than the other. It's just that the approach and a few changes, whereby in the liberal one, I believe there's some level of flexibility. Now, the intended goal of any parenting is to bring up a family whereby the children conform to certain practices where the larger society accept and look at them as individuals whose character is anchored on what is accepted among the population. Now, before even we delve into those issues of who is a conservatist parent and who is a liberal parent, I want to look at a story in the setup of a conservatist parent. And if you look at the African setup, whereby the role of the father and the mother in that setup, I was looking at a story. There's a story, a book. I think a majority of my generation, they made the millennial and the other generation before the millennial, you may have had time to look at the book. The book is written by Chinua Achebe from the West Africa. The book is entitled Things Fall Apart. And in that book, it clearly brings out the conservative parenting, whereby the setup of the African family was anchored on certain practices, whereby the father took the center stage. There was the aspect of dominance, whereby the children did not have so much to contribute in any engagements, in any discussion in the family. So it was anchored, everything was anchored on an individual, the head of the family. And if you look at the book, the way, the descriptive writing of the book, whereby the family, the structure of the family is brought out. The main character in that book, the protagonist in the story, who is Okonkwo, there's somewhere in the book you read about and they talk about he ruled the family with a heavy hand. So I was looking at the word he ruled the family. Basically everything was centered on him. Any decision in the family was to be made by one person. So there was no flexibility, there was no discussion. It never took any step to look at the feelings of the entire family. And here I'm looking at the children. There's somewhere even the son, you look at the way he used to approach the son, because he believed in certain things which was embraced in the conservatist parenthood, that he believed in. He had no patience with unsuccessful people. He believed in hard work, in strength. So, and in this aspect, the hard work is whereby we are even told the family worked in the farm from morning to evening, to that the back breaking point. So this is one family where everything is a directive from one person. And here, in fact, it's like someone is addressing the others, whereby the others are supposed to sit down and to align with the directives of the parent. So there was an aspect of dominance in that setup. But now there's a shift in our generation, whereby we are dealing with a generation which to me is a bit fragile and in a system which is fragmented. This is a generation that I may look at them as individuals who seems to be ahead of us in many aspects, because currently we're living in a world whereby there's too much advancement in technology. The entire world now has turned into a global village. So these children, they are born and they appear to be already wired in a way. The exposure to what is happening now have put them in a position whereby you need to engage them. The children need to have a space also in any decision in the family, whereby their emotional intelligence, the way they feel, their choices, what they want to align to, they're supposed to be listened to. The bottom line is that all the parents, from the conservatist perspective of bringing up the children and the liberal aspect of it, in fact, at some point you can blend the two, but you just need to be understanding and cautious, whereby you don't overstep. You also don't create so much room for the young ones so that they may veer off. The bottom line is that all of us needs to train the children, needs to listen to them and impact in them that which they need to embrace at that particular time, and as they grow up, they will continue aligning to those practices. And I've looked at this that as the young parents who are bringing up families, you don't have that defined manual of parenthood, but there are several avenues. Currently, there's a lot of information. There are journals, there are platforms. You can learn a lot just to understand issues around our young ones in the family, whereby the issue of flexibility, you allow them to have a space to know exactly what they're interested in, under your guidance, and we avoid some level of chaos and that unnecessary aberration, whereby children feel that they're not listened to, and they may find themselves now moving to other avenues and other people who they believe will listen to them other than the parent. And that is the mandate of any parent. Even biblically, we look at it that it's even in the book of Proverbs 22:6 is very clear on the issues of parenting. It really tells you the reason as to why good parenting is okay. It's extremely advisable, and the best thing, in fact, the best reward at that stage from a parent to the children is impacting them the best character, the best. Now what you have just experienced is part of the beauty of parenting. So this is one of the what I may refer to as the emotional fulfillment and the joy the little ones bring to the entire setup. So that is a role they play. Is one of the best roles from the young ones. Now, so what we have just learned from the verse, that what you are doing now is something that is for a long term. When they grow up in that process of their growth and development, they will stick to those teachings, and it will be reflected. What you are impacting now, it will be reflected in the larger society. And that is what I'm talking about for some of the best, gifts from us as we teach our young ones on how to exist. Now, looking at the two ideologies or styles of parenting, where the conservative and the liberal one. Currently, I'm so impressed. I've been even exposed to some, some content whereby the father is so close even to the daughter, something that was unheard of in the conservative setup, whereby currently they're even talking about the dad, because there is an argument about who is a father and who is a dad. So anyone can be a father. That is the narrative. If you are capable of siring and having children, anyone can be a father, but a few only qualify to be referred to as dad. So this guy was even trying to, with in the company of the daughter, they were even trying to demonstrate how you put on a sanitary towel. It was so so unheard of, because the daughter was trying to talk to the dad, and the dad wanted to know what normally happens in the life of the daughter. So the child, that kind of flexibility and the closeness, conversation, there's no way the father will fail to understand the feelings of the child, what the child really wants to align to, and all that. Because some of those things, they were deemed to be an embarrassment. So they were looked at to be, some kind of woman stuff. Women are supposed to do such a things. The boys are supposed to just to appear brave, to appear tough, not supposed to cry. If you come home, you have been beaten in the villages, and you come crying, you are rebuked, because you don't have, you are not a real man. So children are bullied, and they don't speak out because of that narrative that this is a conservatist approach, and the men are supposed to be tough. The girls are supposed to align to certain things. They're not supposed to engage their fathers in some discussions. But that is, it has been overtaken, that approach. The current approach to parenting, I think it has offered a space, and I align to it, because when you allow people to have an aspect of that collaborative approach, you create room, you allow them to air their views. So your role now here is to offer guidance and to sieve, to tell them this one can work, this one it will not apply here. And basically, you can see you are blending something from the conservatist aspect, where you are telling them, for now, no, but this one will work. So, in this aspect, parenting is now one of those engagements and endeavors that comes out where either part in that particular family feels accommodated and embraced. And that is why there is something about the conservative parenthood. There are certain things that were symbolic in that family, whereby everybody is supposed to be engaged and everybody plays a role, so that there can be stability. You have that balance in everything, and some level of collaboration. People from our homes, we had this the proverbial three cooking stones. So there were the three stones, and I've been thinking that why the three stones? This is symbolic. I think one of the stones in a nuclear setup is the father. The other stone is the mother, and the other stone are the children. So when the three stones are put together, something like a pan can comfortably rest over the fire, and it will not topple when you are cooking. So each part in that setup has a role to play. That is why, even the young ones have said that they have their role. The mother has a role, the father has a role. And when they realize that and they allow each part to thrive, to bring about their views, it brings out something that is extremely viable. Then, and years to come. And when someone is given an opportunity to participate in something, there's some aspect of fulfillment, and they think that, rather they know that they are recognized, and they are part of a system that is embracing and allowing them to explore a lot in terms of their talents and their gifts. So currently, it is happening. It was in that conservatist setup, the symbolic aspect of those stones, but it was not working. There was so much dominance. Even in the career space, I've experienced the families whereby the father was a teacher. Everybody ends up being a teacher because it was a directive. The father is a teacher. The only noble career at that time, was teaching. In the 90s and that. So the children were told, after high school, you are going to a teaching training college. So you had no choice. So you were given directives. Even if you had your own choices, you kept them to yourself. And it ended up being detrimental, because people engage in activities they were forced to. They never really wanted to be in those places, and this affects productivity, you know. So currently, children are given space. If they have talents, you look at them and you give them space, you know. Unlike in those areas, you know, even the arena of the art, you know, sports, people believed in either the hard work, you know, the so-called hard work, or the academic prowess and achievements. So people looked at only one thing, you know. So there was that rigidity that you need to align to this. What I'm offering you, as a conservatist, you know, a parent, is that this is the best. What you are talking about is not. So I did not really think it did, you know, good in terms of, you know, helping the children and the parents to realize who they are and their part in the family. But currently, a lot is happening. Children in our times, you know, you can only put on some type of attire, you know. You will wear this, you will not put on this. If you put on this, you know, you don't want you to appear that you are deviating and you are deviant, you know. If you walk to somewhere, you want to take something, you will take what someone tells you to take. You wouldn't have a choice. But currently, you know, even you look at a menu, you will ask them, what will you take? You know, what will you take? So they will say, I will go with this. If you feel maybe not manage, you will tell them, no, for now, just take this one. But here it was, you will take this one. Give them, what do you have? You know, that kind of conversations. So I believe it was anchored on tough, you know, traditions, and the space was so constricted for any conversations, unlike now. But another thing is that we have offered that space. We have offered that space for our children. But I'm not saying that we give them that space and we just leave them like that. We guide them. When you see them veering off, you tell them, now you are overstepping. This is not what you're supposed to do. I've allowed you to express your views, but in this manner, up to this level. There are those reasonable limits. Eh? I know in the conservatists, you did not have anything. So I can't even tell you there were there were so much limits. There were basically rules. There were rules to be followed, and if they were broken, there were consequences. Some of them, even they were extremely draconian. But for now, I believe that in terms of parenting, in our modern way, we have to instill just values. So when you instill values that are supposed to be adhered to and followed, you don't even need rules. Because why would you need rules? If you teach the young ones the best way to grow, the best way to conduct themselves in their own private space, and even in the space, in the public, you know, space, you don't even need rules. You will not even follow them, you know, to know what they are doing. They will just align to those things and know that if I do this, this is not acceptable. So parenting it has its own challenges, but you just have to realize and try to navigate them, and you know, find a way so that you don't appear to be so tough, you know, on certain things, and you don't appear to be extremely soft. You know, you accord them with some unnecessary, you know, freedom and space whereby things may go, you know, in the wrong direction. So I encourage a majority of us, especially in this generation, we have experienced a lot. Our young ones are coming out, when it comes to issues of social justice, advocating for certain changes, even in spaces we never, some of us, find ourselves in, because of they are in a position to share information, within a very short time, because of the platforms that are available. Unlike in those years where even to mobilize, it was not easy. So these are people who are exposed to a lot in the space. So you just need to engage them, and also try to post certain things to them. You tend to ask them, how are they seeing what is happening currently, what are their views, and then you look at them, and you guide them. The thing is just proper guidance, and you will bring up a society that everybody wants, when they hear so and so, they want to be associated with them, because they know that people who are responsible, people who can be given opportunities in certain areas in the society, not only where they hail from, they can go beyond the borders, and even globally, they can serve, because they align to what is acceptable globally. They conform to good practices. That people were extremely rational. They know how to restrain themselves. And for me, I can confess that at some point, I thought that I could just align myself to what I went through. When it dawned on me that it will not work, because I'm from a different setup, and I'm trying to bring up individuals in a different setup with these challenges. So I need to understand and really know how to align them, and just like that. So as a father, as the two parents, the mother and the father, the children are supposed to be guided always, and that is why even I was linking on a narrative of the three cooking stones. The three cooking stones, if in those setups, in some places you would see them that the two of them were permanently fixed on the ground. There was only one stone that was moving around, could be adjusted, so that you could get that proper, stability when you place on a different sizes of the cooking pans. So I believe the one that is movable, it keeps on shifting, so that you really get what is brings about stability and the balance when cooking, are the children, because the children keep on, they're guided when they veer off, they're taken back. When they overstep in certain places, they are guided and adjusted like that. But the two are permanently, they are fixed, to ensure that the other one is towing, toe the line, and everything, falls in place. So and that collaboration, whereby the family is intact. Everybody wants to be associated with such a family. Someone could even admire and say, when I happen to have a family, I want to behave like, to appear like so and so, like that. So you become like a mirror, yeah, that mirror, that that reflection, everybody wants to be part of it. So the two styles, or somehow ideologies, a conservatist one, where there's very little for the young ones. Even the story of Okonkwo, and that theme of Okonkwoism, some level of dominance. You are tough. You are the one who gives directives. you can even be in a position to tell them today you will not breathe. You know, so and the one that we have some, in our generation now, we create that space. As I said, all of us, the intended goal is the same. We are bringing up children. We want them to be people who are responsible, people who are accepted, in the larger society. People are productive because the children are supposed to make us proud as parents. And when we send them out there, they are a replica of who we are. Because children at certain stage, they are a product of observation. So sometimes people look at our young ones, they can tell. They can be in a position to tell, exactly who we are. And that's why even in certain profession, you will find that, okay, I talked about the conservatist approach, whereby the parent was a teacher and the entire family now are teachers. But you can be a replica in some professions, but they were out of choice. You find someone is a medic, the children are also, medics. So someone will not be surprised because maybe it's running in their DNA, but due to maybe environmental factors, they align to certain practices, and you will find that they are a replica of their parents. So that good upbringing, guidance, uh, which is also as a result of an environment that is, favorable for them to thrive, is what we need to embrace. We need to embrace in our space, and as we take up that role as the parents to them. So I would encourage all of us to, to go out of our way. There are many platforms you can get information, and there are things you can still, borrow from the other uh, style of parenting, the conservatist approach. You can borrow something and you improve on them, so that when you inject into the processes in the liberal space, they will work. They will work, and the children you will bring up, you will be proud of them, and everybody, not only you, because sometimes we are not bringing them to that level just to be proud of them as parents, but the society to look at them as people who are going to be of importance in that larger space. And now I want to encourage you to continue doing what you're doing. Parenthood is a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing. And parenthood doesn't just mean your own children. You extend that role to other children, even of another person. As a guardian, you can even have a child. Not necessarily you are the biological parent, but you guide them and you offer that guidance, and that is a noble cause. So I encourage all of us to embrace it. To as the world shrinks to a small space, where when you share these things on this platform, this is one of the platforms, as I said, wonderful platforms, whereas wonderful and strong insights on various issues, which we will be sharing and interacting with you, whereby your views will count on those issues. They are going to help us to shape up a society whereby we come together, we recognize the talents amongst ourselves, the value of each one of us, so that we come up with this team that admires people who will propel a lot in our lives to greater heights. So we are so very grateful to this point. As we continue on this platform, on this channel, this is one of the best channels where you will receive the best. You know, this platform will offer you a lot on topics touching on the family, you know, in our social space, and whereby we encourage people to be there for each other, you know, to assist people to grow, to appreciate them in that journey of growth, and through various, you know, means, we enable them to thrive. So we are very grateful for this channel, and where we are where we are because of our viewers, and where we are going, we need your support. We need your support through, you know, subscribing to this channel. You know, you like the channels, you forward your comments, we look at them, and we improve on a few issues. We are so grateful for where we are because of you wonderful people outside there, you know, all over the world. And we will be sharing a lot on these platforms as we move on, you know, as we expound on a lot. Thank you so much. God bless you so much.